To the MacBox Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is my growth stocks list video for the week ending July 11, 2025. So let's jump right into it. Normally, I have tracked right now about 369 stocks right now on my growth stock list. Based on that, 32% are in uptrend. That's 32%. So we are at the lowest level for the week, and also pretty low compared to the last 2 weeks, right? So 3 weeks ago, more than 3 weeks ago, we were at that low range, right? 28%, but now we are at 32% uptrend, so which means 68%. More than 2/3 of the stocks are in downtrend. What does that mean? That means it's below the 10 or 21-day moving average. Usually it's probably both, because usually the 10-day is higher than the 21-day when it was previously in uptrend. In terms of new highs, only 22 stocks make new high by the end of Friday. So that also show a lot of weakness. Very small portion of the stocks are still running higher. So there is still stocks moving higher, and out of those, out of the all the stocks, there's only 1/3, roughly less than 1/3, that are still in uptrend. So they could have possibly topped. I have no idea. We're gonna look at some charts. So in this video, not only usually I will just only talk about stocks in uptrend, but in this video I'm going to talk about stocks more in downtrend, just because I want to see what's happening to those stocks, right? And if you own them, we'll talk about like how I traded it as well, and how I get out and so forth. So this one will be more deep dive as compared to usual. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe. New seeing the spreadsheet for the first time every week. I have this spreadsheet, I talk about it. They are ranked based on the symbols here, and the time frame here is April 7 to July 11, basically. So yeah, we have over 3 months rally right now, and based on that rally, we are seeing the performance right here. So from the April 7 low on the index, we start looking at each stock and say, hey, how did it perform? And we see SEZL here at the top. It is in a downtrend right now. On this column, we're seeing whether it make new recent high, right? So some of these few stocks, there's only 3 stocks in the top here that have made new high on Friday, new recent high, right? So as we go down the list, we're starting to see more downtrend stocks. As we say, we have more than 2/3 of stocks in downtrend now. So that is quite concerning. So again, we're going to look at stocks and see where they're at to get a better sense of what's happening in the growth stocks area. So as we come down here, we see lots of stocks in downtrend here. At the end of this video, I'll also go over some stocks that are not on this list, but probably maybe on your list, and we'll go over some of those too. Most of them are in downtrend, so I want to talk about them. So the first one here is SEZL. So today I'm going to try to kind of look at it by group, just because we want to see which one is still holding up in the group, which one is not. So right here at the top here, we have SEZL downtrend. We have Circle and AFRM also in downtrend. We have IREN still in uptrend. SOFI still in uptrend. Actually make a new high on Friday. Upstart is still in uptrend, and TBBK in uptrend. Citigroup has fallen back to the short-term moving average within 1%. We also have AEIS and TOST as well. TOST is also in downtrend as well. SEZL, the number 1 stock on my list right now, ranking. It is a tough week. I mean, 1 week we are down 27.9%. Once again, 27%. This stock has run up a lot from this rally, right? From this rally, the last correction right here was pretty severe. I can't see how much the range was, but it was quite severe. I mean, you can see here from the top here, it was near 80, and down here, it was near 25. So it was quite a severe drop, but we bounced back really strong. And right now, let's say in 1 week, we gave back 27%. So, the stronger your growth stock that have run in this rally, when they correct, they're probably going to correct more than usual, faster too. So be aware of that. So this one, you can see right here, we found support, we reversed on this drop here, But this here right now, what we're seeing is we're not seeing any bounce. Like we saw this one day of bounce, but really it gave back right away the next day. And then make new low, close below 21 day, and then it fall through the next day. And now we are not that far away from this red line, which is 50-day moving average. This is Circle, IPO stock, went up quite a bit in a few weeks. I mean, we went from 100 to 300, quite a big percentage gain. Then we fall back really hard. Like, I mean, this 1 week, we dropped 24, almost 25%. The next week, we bounced back a little bit. And then this week, we also bounced back a little bit. And then before it reversed and closed at the bottom. So that is quite concerning because now we have this downtrend line forming. So here, we really didn't recover much, right? From 300 down to 170 or so. And then now we bounced back only to 210-ish. And then now we are reversing and closing really strong. Like this is a very decisive move below the 10-day. So we may see more problems coming up and hit the trend line as well that we can draw now because that's a 45-degree, more than 45-degree angle downtrend line right now that's forming. Next we have AFRM. Been bouncing pretty strong. There was one big bad week right here. It bounced back the week after. Then now we have another bad week. It's still quite above the 50-day. But now we're starting to see, this is a pretty bad negative reversal on Friday. Like we make a new bounce here, but then a new high compared to the last 2 days. But we gave up those gains and look at where we close. We close at the 21-day. Wow. Just how fast the drop can happen. I mean, like we went from like what? Let me see the correction here already. 21% in just a week. I always talk about like, when you watch stocks bounce versus when it falls, especially after it falls, how is that compare, right? The fall fast and bounce back slow, that's not what we want to see, right? Usually you want to see it fall slow and bounce back really fast. That's what you want to see. In this case, we are dropping really fast. We are now like, we gave up all these gains, this is another thing to watch for. Like we are now giving back all these gains since like this day right here, which is probably like a month ago. So this is how fast this 20%, that's a lot in a few days here, in 1 week, less than a week. So here's IREN, still doing okay. Friday is another negative reversal from the, making a new high compared to the previous 2 days and then falling all the way below that. So that's an outside day, not good from that momentum perspective. Here's my, I tried many times here and it finally worked. This is my green mark here. And then, as it goes up, I sell a little bit. And here's when I got out right there on that day. I have no idea whether this is a top, but things aren't looking that good right now. It's still above the 10 days, so nothing too concerning yet, but, I generally don't wait for it to come all the way back down before I sell some. In this case, I actually got out because I ran out of position to sell. So in that case, I'm out. But, yeah, so this is one that is showing some negative sign on Friday. This one's Upstart, very similar behavior, try a few times here, right here didn't work, and then it got back in pretty fast, and then here there's some digestion, also sold some, and then I bought back more shares, and then here's where I got out on Friday. Again, it's not moving much here on Friday after Thursday's high. Now we're still okay, we're still at the 10-day, so it's possible that it still can bounce here, We'll see what happens. Here's SOFI. I mean, this was acting very similar. Unfortunately, this is one that I didn't get back in right here when I got shaken out. This one has run really nice here as well. And even Friday, it was still acting pretty strong. Here's TBBK, still acting pretty good. It's trying to come closer to the all-time high here. So it's possible it could make it. It's holding pretty tight on Friday as well. So yeah, here's the weekly chart looking pretty good. 2 weeks of lots of accumulation here on the volume side. Here's Citigroup. This one also did really nice here. Bounced out right here. I got in right here and got out this week here right there on that red mark. So it's holding pretty tight right now. It's trying to hold the 10 days, so there could be more potential here. It's holding, it reversed back up on Friday, so that's a good sign. So overall, in the financial, we're seeing some tops here happening potentially, but we're still seeing IREN SOFI is running. Upstart is still okay, and then we have Citigroup, TBBK still doing okay. For TOST, it's trying to break out right here on Tuesday, but it fell miserably. It reversed pretty hard and closed at the bottom. And now we're just trying to hold the 10-day right here. So we'll see if it can work eventually, but right now it's a pretty negative reversal until we see some really strong bullish action to counter that. Probably don't want to get in at this moment. And if the market condition continue to deteriorate, then we may see more stocks like this fall apart, Overall, the financials have been doing pretty well recently, especially in some of these fintech areas and stuff. I mean, even in like some brokers and bankers are still doing okay. But we're starting to see a little bit of downtrend here as well, but lots of them still in uptrend. But down here, I can see more downtrend now. All right, next group here we have number 3 ranking, Credo, in the Internet Network Solutions. We're going to start looking at all the technology stocks here, and you can see there's a lot of downtrends here. So we're going to go over some of this right now. So we still have Credo at the top here. Here's the daily chart. This one, bounced out the 10-day couple times now, making new high on Friday as well. So we're still looking pretty healthy. Has 2 recent tight consolidation here, pullback and bounce. Next we have ALGM here, ALGM. This one was doing really good. Look at the 10-day right here, like very strong. And it did reverse from Thursday's high, and then it kind of followed through on Friday on that reversal. So a little bit negative. I start getting in right there. There's some that didn't work out here, but this one works. And then got out here, but then got right back in after the bounce. And then added more here, and you can see I got out on Friday. So I did exit a lot of final positions on Friday. So that's something, that happened to my portfolio here. Next we have SMTC here, Semtech, still moving pretty strong, holding tight on Friday after a nice bounce here. Here we have Palantir pullback recently. Now it's bouncing back. It's looking pretty healthy. Overall it's making higher lows here. It hasn't made a new high yet, but it's getting there slowly. MU Micron, it pulled back recently here after this nice run. I have some position right there, and then added here, and then got out right there. It hasn't really bounced back strong, so that's the problem right now. It's just holding sideways, so nothing bad about this, but just need more patience here if it's gonna work and break out again. Same group here, we have STX. This one has been really strong, running on the 10-day line, but it did break it this last week, so that was my exit. I got in around a little bit late here, right there, and then sold some here, add back more here, and then right here, it broke the 10-day. It did bounce back though by Friday, so maybe this could continue. We'll see. AEIS, semiconductor, still going pretty strong on the 10-day support line right there. A little bit extended here, pulling back slightly. This is DELL. DELL making new high on Thursday as well, and Friday pulled back really slightly. This one overall is holding tight. Here's the 10-day slope right there. Here's Hypnosis running really strong. Here's the 10-day slope, just riding above it very nicely. So those are the top stocks in the tech group that still in uptrend. We still also have NVDA here, but NVIDIA and TSM we talked about in the main market video, so please watch that. AVGO is also in that video. In terms of downtrend, we're seeing MGNI and LITE. Here's the downtrend on MGNI here. It's now below 10 days. So one of the things I'm talking about earlier, just watch where your stock is in relation to the 10-day. This one is the relative strength wise is really deteriorating. and it's coming down fast. I mean, 1 week and last Friday it gave up 10% already. So again, if the market continue to deteriorate, we could see, you know, two to three times the deterioration on that, right? And we saw that, I think it was 3.7% on the growth stocks. So, you know, we could see more on so that's yeah, this one is 10%, so roughly 2.5 times, a little bit more. So yeah, so we'll see if it can find support if it come down more. So live, this one has been having a lot of trouble recently. It just comes out and pull back right away right here. Never work. Here it's trying to come out and look at that intraday reversal again. Next day follow through again. Just having a hard time coming out. But you know, sometimes this could eventually work because we have this nice big up run here. So eventually it could work, but it just takes a lot. It just take more longer time to digest. And so here is just like really just a lot of choppiness here. Bumble also going sideways, not doing too much, just having a hard time coming out right there on Thursday. LITE here is trying to come back on Friday, so we'll see if this could work. It's coming back right here. Try to come out, but it's still within the range there. SITM chip area. This one is not moving at all. It's stuck at the 10-day, below 10-day. It's not making new lows, but it's just stuck right now. For SAR gaming, also another one that's stuck with a high channel line there, just at the top here. It's stuck in the range. Reddit is pulling back now. Again, this stock very hard to trade, just very choppy, and now it's definitely below that downtrend line. MTSI also doing something very similar, also forming a downtrend line. Watch where it is in relation to the short-term moving average. So it's already below 10-day. Now it's at the 21-day. EXTR, extreme networking, computer networking here. Also pulling back really sharply. Look at that. So again, some of this can pull back really fast. So that's the problem, right? You gotta pay attention because you don't want to give back all your gains if you have them. App loving, this one, you know, trying really hard. Like, so this is what I talking about earlier, like how it come down, you know, at this rate, but then it bounced back at this rate. Just not much of a bounce, and now it's already losing steam. It just couldn't go above this short-term moving averages here. BILI, this one is Chinese stock, also coming down. It tried to move, but now it's giving back really fast, right? In 3 sessions, giving back quite a bit. SLAB, Silicon Laboratory SLAB here also pulling back. So, you know, these are some of the top growth stocks that have been performing recently. Like, you know, you can see the run right here and the bounce from here. So right now it looks like we're digesting, so we could, you know, go down to maybe even the 50-day line before it bounces. So that's something to watch for, like as the next opportunity, or unless it bounces here, that's also possible. RMBS also pulling back. So that's the thing, right? Like again, relatively speaking, it's not good because we saw in the main market video, semiconductor actually index is making new highs, but yet this stock is not moving. It's actually at the low of the range now. Well, those are the top growth stocks for the tech. Again, a lot of them are in downtrend now. That's the biggest problem. There's still some in uptrend, but majority now is, you see all the way down here, it's all downtrend now. And team stock. We'll talk more about the stocks that are beaten down this week at the end. So next group we're gonna highlight are the industrials, and there's quite a few of them here. This one, you know, you see lots of green, meaning they have pulled back to the 10-day moving average. Lots of green here. They haven't really come down hard enough to form the downtrend, but you know, we're seeing lots in the uptrend, some in the uptrend, some in the downtrend, but a lot of greens right at the top here. So that's interesting. So SIM here, huge gain since April 753%. Let's go to the chart. This is symbolic, and here's the 10-day moving average. I still have positions in this. This is my original buy. I have sold some even recently here, so I still have a little bit of positions left. It is, you know, starting to lose some steam here on Friday. It gave back some, but not all. So maybe there's still room for more. CLS, this one been riding the 10-day pretty good. 21-day hasn't really touched it once yet. So that's another key level. But so far, this is still holding on. I did get rid of my last position on Thursday here. So yeah, but it could continue to go based on this chart right now. So this is SEI Solaris Energy, very choppy. You can see hasn't really worked out that well, you know, but this is high 20s top to now 32, as high as 32. It is bouncing back a little bit on Friday. KRMN, this one also bouncing right here. Aerospace defense, this group is quite strong. So there's some movement there. Coherent here in electronic parts area. This one also riding the 10-day pretty nice, just sitting nicely above it. So it looks good. Next, we're going to look at some of the more downtrend or sideways movement going back to the 10-day. Let's start with VRT. So here's VRT. VRT have gave back big drop on Thursday. Not sure if there was any news I didn't follow, but it says here were to start rebound after overreaction to AWS news. So yeah, maybe they were looking. I think there was something about AWS doing their own equipment stuff for electrical equipment for data centers. Maybe that's why. Anyhow, huge drop that day. It closed at the 21-day right there. Now Friday it did bounce back to the 10-day moving average. So we'll see how this move next week, because right now we're still under this downtrend, pretty steep downtrend line here. So we do clear that, maybe we, you know, because of this huge shake, that's a huge shakeout, right? Like all the stops will be hit there. So there's a chance that this could continue its run from here. So yeah, but I wouldn't enter until it crossed that, at least cross that line decisively on huge volume and stuff like that. Here, JBL in the contract manufacturing for electrical, also doing well. Lots of ants here, you can see on the dots there, the black dots. And then we pull back very gently to the 10-day right now. And it doesn't appear it wants to go below it. So that's a really good sign. So we have to watch for this. But this stock is quite extended. So, but it doesn't have earnings, because the earnings came out here. So it doesn't have that risk unless there's a industry group news or the stock specific news. But yeah, it's holding better than pretty good, but it's pretty tight here. This is Arlo. Arlo is really falling apart right now. Here's the trend line. So yeah, so we are seeing more and more stocks doing this now, right? So that's the problem. So even if some stock haven't formed this pattern where, you know, hit new lows recently, you know, it could happen in the next week. So just beware. Like again, growth stocks, a lot of them has run up and has stalled, and then now it is starting to make new lows, right? So that's the biggest problem here. And obviously, we'll be looking for support in the next moving average, which is the 50-day line here. So we'll see if it comes near it or not, or it could bounce before that. So we'll see. So this is one that's showing green on my spreadsheet, which is meaning it's within the 1% of the 10-day right here. And this one broke out right here and then went up, not much though. It says here 10% from the pivot. So it's only up 10% and then it pulled back and now it's going sideways. So the question is this gonna eventually bounce, or is this just gonna fall apart and come down to the 50-day? So here's RefG, another one that come down to the 10-day. So a lot in this group have come back down to the 10-day. So the question is it going to bounce or is it going to go down further, right? So here's XMTR making a move recently, making new highs even on Friday, but it did reverse and close at the bottom. So that's negative. Fabrinet, another one moving sideways after it comes down. It's trying to bounce, but again, very weak bounce. That's the problem here. Federal Signal FSS, this one has a huge drop on Friday after being extended. So this one broke the 10-day, but it did come back. So that's a good thing. So now we need to see it kind of, you know, slowly come back above the 10-day and then maybe break the channel line. TZ also pulled back recently. So it's trying to bounce on Friday. We'll see if we can fall through here next week. NVT also did something negative on Thursday. Look at that really huge shakeout here again. Could be related to the power equipment new stuff like Motive. Came down really hard, but it did reverse and close near the top. So that's a huge shakeout. And Friday it was able to close positive, so that's also a good thing. So yeah, we'll watch for Motive and MET here, both in similar. Yeah, so that's mainly the industrial group. That you can see there's air that's still making new high on Friday. And then there's some still in uptrend. Feel free to look at your own time here. The next group, retail. We have rank number 8, HSAI, still in the uptrend, making new high, recent high here. So this one, it's been hard for me to trade. I tried twice. It's just where you can look at the overall chart. It's very choppy. It does appear it wants to move right now. It found support the last 2 times, was able to make newer highs and also newer lows. So that, it could be working now. This is a less liquid stock, but in the 20 something, 23, $24 range. So it could be very choppy, very volatile. So just be aware of that. Look at RCL here. Royal Caribbean is still going. This one has been easy to hold. Got in here and still going. And lots of ants showing up here. It's just accumulation and hasn't want to come back down to the 10-day yet. Then we have Shake Shack. This one has been really nice. Come up. We have some digestion here. Then we come up. Looks like we're digesting again right now at this moment. So we are near this base right here, and we try to come up, but it's been pulling back so far. We'll see once this pullback's over, maybe it will start to go. So should be good if it can do that. Yeah. So we have SN Shop Ninja. This one is still going well. Look at that. Making new recent high here, and it just doesn't want to come back to 10-day. Even on Friday, you can tell it's close to the top of the range. Then we have Kavana. It tries to break out right here, but it quickly pulled back in. Overall, the pullback is not that weak. I mean, it's not that strong. I mean, the pullback is okay. So we'll see if we can bounce back next week. So here's DoorDash, pulling back slightly here to the 10-day now. So again, very critical level. Let's see if we can find any support there. Then we have C here. This one has been on a downtrend for a while now, so this one is not working at all. RSI, Rush Street Interactive in the gaming area. This one is starting to pull back as well. So it undercut the 10-day. So we'll see if we find support soon as well. Here we have Netflix here. We covered the main video. It's in downtrend. SXT, SNCY still in uptrend here. API making new high on Friday. We have Tesla, which we covered in the main video. Please watch that. Yeah, so there's some stocks here. Again, we'll look at some of the ones that drop more later on in this video if you watch to the end. Look at the commodities and energy area. Rank 15 is CVI in the oil and gas group here, still in the uptrend. So I was able to get in here after this pullback, and it's been doing really well. Make a strong run on Thursday. Look at Friday's action. Really doesn't want to give back much here. Then we have Carpenter Technology in the steel industry. This one also riding the 10-day pretty good. It hasn't come down to the 21-day ones yet, so it's still riding this wave right now. Next we have some mining stocks. Let's look mining gold stock, MUX. We have OR here with AU, and we have PAS in the silver. Let's look at MUX first. This one is bouncing right here after this recent pullback, so could be an opportunity there. With McEwen, OR's OR royalties. This is also bouncing. Yeah, it did make a new high on Friday, so it looks really good. AU, Anglo Gold. This one bouncing a little bit here, so we'll see. It's technically still in a downtrend based on the channel line right there, but yeah, we'll see. Then we have Pan American Silver. This one breakout just like the ETF does, so looking really sharp. Right here, higher volume. So here's Mosaic, chemical, agricultural. This one has gone up a lot in this rally, pullback, recent pullbacks here. Now we have another pullback, so we'll see if this one will It did have a reversal on Friday here, but so we'll see. That could, maybe we could break above the trend line here again. That's where TDW and Uptrend, GTLS within 1%. ERO is in downtrend now. Here's the downtrend line, pretty steep, right? And they came. So this is one example that came back all the way to 50-day, and from there it finds support right away. So that's a good sign. But we're still under the 10-day, right? Because of how fast it came down. So that usually happens. It will accelerate down really fast, and then it's gonna bounce back to near the 10-day as the 10-day comes down right here. And so then you watch whether it can find resistance there and then start coming back down, or whether it's gonna break through that decisively, right? And if it breaks through and you don't trust the market right now, you can always buy a little bit, and then the next day if it follows through, then you can buy more, and so forth. You manage your risk. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So this is one that is actually in a pretty strong downtrend now. So yeah, feel free to go through. I don't have many oil and gas or commodity stock right now. So but yeah, you can see lots of downtrend ones here still. Yeah. So health is very weak. You can see there's only 3 stocks in 100. That's very little. Like that's very little. So I still have PHC, ARWR, HIMS. A lot of these are in downtrend now, right? ZLAB in downtrend, PTSG in downtrend, TEM in downtrend. Like yeah, so you have MERM here that making you high, but yeah. So let's look at PHC here. So it's been trading pretty shaky here. A lot of times it didn't work, and then finally it works here. And saw some there and still have position right now, and it did reverse and come back up on Friday, but still down for the day. So again, I want to see how it comes. What does it do when it comes near this 10 days? So far, it's looking pretty healthy, but again, it's just it's still a down day though, so it didn't actually go up. So we'll see if it can hold this level next week. So ARWR came out, but so nice breakout here, but now it's coming back. So a lot of stocks, when they break out, they do pull back. So just have to be very patient and see whether it'll bounce on that first pullback. Let's look at HIMS. This one, pretty ugly chart after this one big down day. It tried to bounce back again. You have a very quick drop and you have a very slow bounce, right? That's exactly what you don't want to see. So yeah, I would stay out of this until at least it clear that level at the channel line through there. Let's look at TAM. This one, obviously a lot of people follow this as well. Tempus AI. This one has been on a downtrend for quite a while now, for a few weeks, more than a few weeks. Yeah. So clear downtrend line. Again, this is what happens. It comes down really fast. Either it goes sideways, which is not a good thing, or it bounces and it comes to the 10-day right here. It got rejected right here. Draw it out here, right here. Got rejected right there. So just like an uptrend, you want to see it go, bounce off the 10-day higher, and here on the downtrend, it usually bounce off lower, right, off the 10-day. So again, very strong, very weak sector here. So lots of downtrend stocks. Feel free, if you have any of this, feel free to go through them here. So now I'm gonna go over some of the stocks that kind of gave up this week, which is not on my list. Actually, I apologize. Some of them are on my list. Let's talk about those ones that are still on my list. KD here. So it's down 3 days hard in a row now. And look how fast it came down to 50-day. That is quite amazing speed. Now we're gonna, that's the thing about pullbacks to corrections. You don't know how far it will go, right? It'll crash the 10-day, then the 21-day, which is the pink line, and then finally it comes down to the 50-day. Now, again, just like any moving averages, when it comes near it or comes below it, what does it do, right? So I've been talking about that a lot today. So just watch what they do and see if it will find support here and bounce back as soon as possible and continue the run, or whether it just crashed through it. Yeah. Palo Alto. Wow, look at that drop. Thursday, Friday follow through. So this is like, first it break the 10 and 21-day right there. Then it break the 50-day, right? Then it come down like all the way to 200. So now we just in 1 week we are down 10% on a pretty large cap stock. So that's how fast stocks can pull back. And because this RS line is so weak, if the market deteriorate, most likely, if it will deteriorate more, then this stock will most likely continue to deteriorate. And again, most stocks drop 2 to 3 times the index value of the index. So in terms of percent, so that could be a bigger pullback or correction here happening. Talk about other techs that are not on my list. Okay, so this is Autodesk, ADSK. Look at that drop. Wow. Again, they just crashed through every single moving average without hesitation. And now we are way below 200-day. Next, we have CoreWeave. This is a recent IPO, a huge run right here. Again, one thing I talked about earlier, the bigger the run, the potential, the bigger the correction, just like SEZL. This one has come all the way now to 50-day. And this is already down 32% from the top here. Next, we have Datadog. Also suffer a very bad week. Look at this drop right here. So we have a nice day here. I can't remember the news. Was it because they were included S&P index? Maybe, I don't remember. But here's the drop. Again, very fast drop, below 10-day now. So far it hasn't want to come down to 21-day. So that's a good thing. Let's see if it can continue, if it can bounce from here now. The Cloudflare also starting to give up. Here's the 10-day. Here's the last low, which is coincide with the pink line, 21-day. So it's slightly below it. We'll see if we find support. Here's Team Atlassian, a really strong growth stock before. It has been performing really badly this year. Again, just no power. It came back up. Look at this, 2 days, it got knocked down all the way to a new low, recent low. That's how fast pullback can happen, or and eventually could turn into a bigger correction. Here's Workday, also not performing well recently in this rally. So these are all the laggards because RS line had been coming down. Yeah, look at this. It just got hammered the last 2 days, making new lows, new recent lows. Zscaler, well, this one has been doing much better recently. So it did participate very well in this rally. Again, 2 days, Thursday, Friday. Look at how fast the speed at which it comes down. Again, I cannot emphasize this more. Because Thursday was already negative, right? Like if you didn't get out on Thursday because of how fast it dropped and where it closed, look at it closed at the bottom. And then Friday just followed through and just got knocked down to 2%. And now we are not that far away from 50-day. So the question is, if it does come down here, are we going to find support 50-day? And we already saw some stocks that did not find support 50-day. Again, it's all relative. Some stocks will, like I say, the stocks that have already deteriorated, they could go down a lot lower. And then the last ones that are still going up, eventually the market will pull everything down and hurt every stock. But it's just that some stocks are going to get hurt more, right? So the techs that kind of had strong reaction this week, mostly on the downside, right? And then we have Chef. This one also was very volatile. It tried to come out here this week, and look at that. The next day it got knocked all the way to its 50-day right there. It's amazing. And then it has been bouncing back. So sometimes after a big shakeout, the stock could work. And you don't want to look away. Just keep watching those stuff. Maybe a good entry point would be like, I usually like to draw a 45-degree angle from the top. That would be a somewhat safe in that sense, more balanced. Or you can wait till you come back across this previous, handle here. Or if you really, really want to wait, you can wait until it breaks to new high. So it depends what you feel. Here's Manly. Also fell on the breakout right here, and since then it really didn't make again, this is like an L-shaped pattern right here. It didn't make progress on the bounce, right? After many days, and then after that it just gave up. So now it's below the red line, which is the 50-day moving average. Again, the biggest problem with breaking the 50-day, and a lot of people will buy on the 50-day bounce, but if it breaks it, is actually the opposite, right? A lot of people will sell into that weakness, and that could cause it to come down. And the next support line is usually 200-day line, and that usually is quite far apart. And in this case, it is. Next, we're going to move into industrials. Road. So this one's pulling back, not as bad. It came down to the 50-day. It has bounced back slowly towards the 10-day right here. So it's kind of balanced right now. Let's see what happens next week. Here's Axon. Axon has fallen apart as well right here. So again, this is the big drop, and then it tries to bounce back again, much slower, right? Look at how slow it's coming back up. It barely made the middle ground, and then now it's giving up already. So this is in the security area, and then the stock in the same security area, Brina Technologies. So again, this one also did the same thing, falling really hard on Thursday and Friday. So look at this one. Wow, look at that. How fast it came down. And this is a $20 stock, so it's easy to move a bigger range, right? And when it's in that 20s. So yeah, so this is the dangerous zone. So, you know, again, look at how many days it take to go up here. And look at this. It came all the way back to like probably, you know, more than 1.5 months ago. Like that's like May, yeah, almost early May or mid-May. So just 2 months almost. Give back in 2 days. So again, I know this is a $20 stock, but I hope this is not going to happen to the whole market, like a lot of growth stocks, because that'll be painful. Is that you have your gains and you give back so much, or even more than you gain. So this is aerospace defense ERJ. So this one had a nice gains here, 20% from this breakout, and just boom right here. 1 day to the 10-day, next day gap down to the 21-day, and Friday, I mean, it reversed from the bottom, but it's still a negative action because it just couldn't go up higher. Like that's the problem. So now we have a very steep downtrend line, which usually I wouldn't buy even a cross above it. Like I say, I like to see a more 45-degree angle a downtrend line that usually gives more time for it to digest, right? But yeah, sometimes you will get a V-shaped rebound, but that's very rare, right? Yeah. All right. I think that was it. I covered a lot of stocks, and I think today's, you know, I can see like most of them are really falling down hard when they do fall, and so that is something to be cautious about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I really appreciate that. And until next time, stay safe in this market. I know there's some more tariff news on the weekend because this is tape on recorded on Saturday, and you know European Union tariffs are coming out as well. So the market hasn't really react big to it, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time, and then the market realizes, you know, hey, you know, this is too much, you know, and you can only ignore for so long. And the other thing on top of this is earnings coming up. Okay, so which one is more important? You know, tariff news, earnings news, you know, and then, you know, you have the Fed news as well, you know, about Powell and all that. So, and then you have all the geopolitical news. So it's just lots of news. Sometimes the market go up further than most people think, but at the same time, the growth stocks, they tend to lead the market. That's something I have followed for a long time. They usually do. If you look at 2021 December top, the growth stocks, most of them are falling apart before the general index did, and S&P didn't top until January, you know, the second day of January of 2022. So, but a lot of growth stocks peaked even before that, right? So we have something similar happening right now where the index are not topping yet, or at least hasn't, you know, clear sign of topping yet, but a lot of growth stocks have. So sometimes it's just a little bit delayed. And when the index starts to deteriorate, growth stocks could fall even more. Thank you all for watching. Until next time.